Hello, this is Ann Tucker, and I have the pleasure of talking with Todd Corbin tonight, who's a Parent Path founder, and we're going to be discussing self-care and what that means. How are you, Todd?
I'm great. Thanks, Ann.
Good. So I know just from speaking with you on other occasions that you have a lot of experience with self-care, and it's something that you've been doing regularly for a while. And I wanted to know what that looked like for you. What does self-care look like for you?
That is a good question. There's a lot. For me, it's a balance. It's a little bit of self-care sort of when I first get up. It's some self-care during the day, and it's self-care before I go to bed at night. So for me, it's got to be almost like encompassing the entire day. When I usually get up, I get up before my kids are up, my wife is up, and even the dog is up. I get up pretty early and I do a little bit of stretching and some Tai Chi, and then I go for a run. I take the dog. And I've been running for, probably 20-plus years. And over the last couple of years, I run every single day. And it's just all weather, all year round. And I live up in Cleveland, so it gets pretty cold and snowy in the winter, but I still run. So that's my morning self-care. During the day, one of the biggest things for me is I make sure that I get a good luncheon. It's easy to not when you're busy. But
no, it is. That's really interesting to hear that. I've never heard anyone say that before. Usually people say breakfast. So tell me why lunch.
Well, lunch is a nice thing for me because I'm usually very busy. A couple of different jobs that I have, full-time job in publishing, and so when I, can be on the computer a lot, could be talking to college professors a lot, could be, working on some manuscripts. And so my mind is pretty focused, and it gets kind of tired sometimes. So lunch for me is sort of a zone-out time. What I basically do is I find a comfortable spot. Sometimes I go outside if it's a nice day, or I just grab, something fairly healthy. And at the same time of eating, I might listen to some music, or I might listen to a video on the internet, or read a little bit, just to take 20 to 30 minutes for me. And usually, I don't even take calls unless it's urgent, like something from school or whatever about my kids. So I just let that ring. So that's sort of my time that I find I've used that for a long while, even if I'm out with a customer or somebody I work with. I'll make sure that if I have time afterwards, if it's like a busy lunch or whatever, whether it's even walking back to my car for 15 minutes or 10 minutes on my own, I just sort of, get that reflective time, take a couple of deep breaths and do that. And then usually in the evening, after my kids are in bed, I have an infrared sauna that I use that I love. I just take a book and read. So reading is a big part, or I do some meditation at night. And so those are things that sort of keep me balanced and grounded. And, when I travel or it gets busy or vacations, I still even manage to, maybe I don't get the midday time in, but I start my day and end my day with taking care of Todd. And I find that's if my family benefits tremendously because of it. At least I'd like to think so.
But do you know what I noticed when you're talking? It sounds like you're not even really thinking about doing it. It's just been so much a part of your routine that you just do it automatically, right? It's not like you're thinking about it. It's what you normally do.
It really is. It's part of who I am, and it's I guess you can say it's a habit, but it's even beyond a habit. It's like in my blood, my DNA.
Right.
It is. It's in my being because it's just. If you asked who's Todd, that's it. I mean, I run every morning. I don't stop.
Because you like to do it. because you
I
really
love
like
it.
to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sort of mindful running. I mean, I used to listen to a lot of books on tape while I run. And now it's and I listen to thousands of hours of stuff. And now it's to the point where I just like to run and just be outside with the dog, be mindful of my surroundings. And, I'll go out for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes each morning. So, I mean, it's just such a relaxing time, good way to start. And I don't even do it for I know it's great for the heart and everything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's better for my whole being, my whole routine.
So it sounds like you've been doing this for like years and years and years, but even before you had children and became a father. And I know for most of us, I had shared with other people that my idea of self-care was like, okay, my teeth are brushed, I have on shoes, and I ate something. It was very limited. I didn't get what that meant until after I had my children and knew that I needed breaks to be by myself and to take care of what I needed. So what triggered it in you all those years ago to really start taking care of you? Was it a deliberate, thoughtful thing, or did you just kind of fall
It
into
really
it?
was. That's a great question, Ann. It was pretty deliberate. See, I was the kind of person that was not very good at managing and regulating emotions. And so they got out of whack very quickly, and at a high
And
price.
what did that look like? Was it like anxiety, or was it anger, or
Well, it was anger. It was big-time anger. It was verbal anger. It was, banging walls and breaking things.
I can't imagine you
Stuff
doing
that I'm not proud of in college and, high school. And, thank goodness most of it was before my kids knew me, because I can tell them stories and they're like, Dad, you did that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I at least, while when they're doing it, I'm a little bit more, I guess, forgiving. That's,
right, because you know what that feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's like you're out of control in a way, and it got to the point for me after college, and I had a hard time getting a job after college in the early '90s or late '80s, and it was just very stressful, and I didn't have. My friends didn't like to be around me because I was always the kind of grumpy. I was a Mr. Grumpy. And I don't know what actually triggered it. It was probably just being reflective and realizing I didn't have many dates.
Right.
So it was like, I got to get my act together, or
right.
I'm going to be a bachelor till I'm 95.
Yeah.
So,
you kind of
but
felt like
it was a conscious choice.
Yeah, so you were tired. It reminds me. You remind me of me, even though mine took place much later in my life. But my stuff wasn't anger, but it was huge amounts of anxiety and fear that just didn't make sense. I mean, it would be, someone would look at me wrong, and I would want to burst into tears and thinking it was about me. And I got to the point where I was just so sick of living in my own head that I finally had to do something, and I learned to meditate and went to therapy, and that all shifted and changed. So anyway.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you. It's so. Thank you. So it's something I notice in my family. I try to make sure that everybody has time for themselves. When I'm with my kids, they have their time. They have their alone time, and my wife has her alone time, and sometimes I have to push her a little bit. Go to the gym again. Get this done. Do that. Go to the, bookstore, whatever you need to do. And it's just, so a lot, because I feel that since I have it and it's so important to me and I see the benefits, I also see when others don't have it. And it just sort of drives me to say, okay, I'll handle the kids an extra hour today. No big deal. You go out and you go get an extra workout in or whatever you need to. Go out with your girlfriends. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, listen, I think we're running out of time, but thank you so much for talking to me. Really
Sure.
interesting. And I still can't imagine you punching walls. Can't imagine it. But I'm
I could
sure
show
it
you the scars.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Ann. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.